Hey guys, it's Dan from Soileater and welcome back to our One Take Wednesday series. Today in episode 29, I'm going to be going over general meal prepping and general fitness and how to kind of get into fitness and tracking your meals and that sort of thing. So a little disclaimer here, I'm just a dude. Obviously, I'm not the most jacked dude. I'm not the most in shape guy. By no means am I trying to represent myself that way. I'd say I'm decently fit. But that being said, I'm just going to give you some starter advice in this video. But just understand that before you start any sort of fitness routine, especially if you're kind of out of shape and you kind of let yourself go, make sure you get with your doctor and get a plan from a certified doctor or certified nutritionist, that sort of thing. All right. But today I'm going to go over some general ways that I try to keep in shape and try to eat a little bit healthier and not always taking crap. So with my daily function, guys, I kind of am in a car quite a bit, and it's very easy to get in the routine of just ordering out and doing drive-through food. I've actually been like that for probably about the last month here, so I kind of fall off the bandwagon and then try to get back on. But I want to go over some things that have helped me out over the last 10, 12 years of being in law enforcement, especially now where I'm in a vehicle most of the day. All right, so first thing I want to talk about is kind of where we keep my food, like where you keep your food when you go to work and you go on duty. I've tried cheaper lunch boxes in the past, and what I found is a cheap lunchbox will basically disintegrate after like 6 months or so, right? Whether the zipper fails on it or whether it starts wearing and tearing where the straps are, that sort of thing. So I personally didn't invest in it. My now wife, but I believe she was my fiance at the time, purchased me this Yeti Cooler way back in the day, and you can see here the zipper is kind of starting to fail on it, more cosmetically and waterproof wise. But this thing I've had for, oh man, probably over 7 years now, and it has held up great. There's other brands out there. This one just happens to be Yeti. You can see how thick the sides of it are, but it's a soft cooler. This is the Hopper Flip 12. If I have a link of it, I'll send you a link in the description there. Amazing cooler, right? An amazing lunchbox. You'll see it is expensive, 100%. It's probably about $200, $230, $250, something like that. With inflation, I haven't checked it prior to the video, but just understand that this was an investment, all right? It allowed me to keep my lunches cool, right? All right, that's the whole purpose of a lunchbox, but it also held up great. Now, why did I invest in a expensive lunchbox? Well, besides the small cheap ones failing, like the ones you get at Walmart and online, Amazon, that sort of thing, was it didn't keep my food cool. So if I kept the lunchbox in the car with me during the summertime, I'm in upstate New York, it gets about 80, 90, 90 plus. Rarely is it over 100. But what I found is when I was FTOing, I had to take all my stuff out of the passenger seat and out of the wheel well where I would normally keep it. So it was in a nice air-conditioned car with me. When I started putting it in the trunk, it was just like a microwave for it. So I found that all those cheap lunch boxes, even with the little ice packs, right, those little blue ice packs, I'd have like 2 or 3 of them in it. It didn't keep my lunch cold. So I started to have yogurt that was all disgusting and that sort of thing. So it was time to get something better. This thing you can put ice in, and like 2 days later, the ice will still be in it. It's insane how good Yetis are. There's other brands out there, definitely some cheaper brands now, some kind of copies and whatnot of them, but highly recommend investing in a good lunchbox. All right, is it 100% necessary? No, it's not, but I'll move that to the side there. So first thing I'd recommend is a good spot to keep your lunchbox or to keep your food in, and that would be the lunchbox. The next is going to be kind of what kind of storage and what kind of containers I would recommend. All right, so you go to your local grocery store, Walmart, that sort of thing, you're gonna find these little plastic containers, right? And these are pretty good. I use these for a long time. The problem is, just like everybody else, right, I would take my food, pop the top off, slide it in the microwave at the fire hall or wherever else, and heat up my food in these. And a bunch of people who are smarter than me are like, bro, you gotta stop heating up your food in plastic. And I'm like, well, I don't care. You're not going to live forever, right? But yeah, apparently it's really bad for you. So without getting into all the, all the science and all the stuff going on with BPAs and just heating up food in plastics, and especially in microwaves and kind of all the chemical transmission there. Because again, I don't know any of it, right? But I've been told by a lot of people, some people that are smarter than me, that, hey, you probably shouldn't do that. So if you're just starting off and you want to use these, that's fine, but maybe bring a plate or something you can put these on to microwave it. What is nice about these is you can get a big pack of them for relatively cheap. And when you're done with it, if you don't want to keep it in your bag, you can just dispose of it, right? So a little more expensive per week if you're just disposing of it, a little wasteful as well, but it's a good idea, or a good, overall choice. I had since been meal prepping quite a bit, and for Christmas a few years back, my in-laws actually got me some of these. These are Pyrex. These are 3-cup or 750 mil containers, and what you see here, obviously, is a microwave-safe glass bowl here, right? So it will hold 3 cups. You'll find like a lot of your meal preps out there are like a cup. Like for me, I was always mass gaining. I'm always trying to gain weight. For the guys who are trying to lean out, obviously this will be perfect for portion size for you. But I found that if I filled this to the max with, let's say, turkey, ground beef, chicken, and then some rice and broccoli or something like that, like whatever I put in here, I can basically finish. All right. What I hated doing, I don't know if it's psychological or what, but you put a meal in here and then you don't finish it. It's like, well, now what do I do with it? You have to cap it off, throw it back in your lunchbox. So I'd rather have a couple of these for shift than a couple of these where I have leftovers. That's just me personally. But what I found with these, it's really nice. These caps, I would say they're not waterproof, right? I'll just say that. So if you have like a real soupy meal in here, like maybe some chili, right, that has a little bit of liquid to it, they will leak a little bit. Again, so try to keep your lunchbox upright and you won't have any issues. But other than that, I haven't broken one of these. I usually will not microwave it with this covering it. I'll grab like some paper towels or like a paper plate and put that over to help. But this is what I'd probably recommend to you guys if you want to get in this meal prepping long term. With that being said, these are a little bit more expensive, but again, they're reusable. So something to think about. They're also a little heavier, right? So you're really not gonna wanna be throwing around your lunchbox, especially with the Yeti lunchbox is already pretty heavy. So that's what I'd recommend for that. So now we have where to put our food, right? We got the lunchbox. We've got what to put it in after you're done cooking it. Now let's talk about kind of what foods to prep, all right? So I'll say this, again, I'm no professional in this, right? But for me, my target or what I'm looking to achieve is going to be different than yours. So you are going to have to figure out what type of diet you're looking for, right? Whether you're looking to slim down and kind of lean up, or if you're looking to gain muscle mass, all right? But no matter what your goal is, what you're going to need is an electronic scale, all right? So this is just an electronic scale from Amazon. I'll throw a link in the description, but just any electric scale will work. Now, you're going to want one that obviously you can have a tear. So, you put this on there, you hit the 0 out button, it zeroes it out. I mean, you guys are most likely probably all cops, or most of you are cops, so you know how to do it with evidence or whatnot. You're able to log on to YouTube, so I imagine you know how to use this. But you want one that has different units. So I'll get into that in a minute, but you want one that at least has ounces as well as grams. All right, and that's going to get into the next thing I'm going to be talking about. But a cheap little digital scale is going to work amazing for achieving your goals in meal prepping. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is macronutrients, right? So what that basically is, if you actually want to track what you're eating and kind of know what calories you're taking in, you have to track your macros. And what the macros are, the 3 main ones that you're tracking is going to be your carbohydrates, your fats, and your protein. All right, the average rule for gaining muscle mass is going to be at least taking 1 gram of protein for the body weight that you want to be, right? So I'm 200 right now over the holidays and eating like crap. I'm actually at like 205 right now, but it's not a good 205, right? I can tell based on my performance, it's not a good 205. So with that being said, like what's my goal weight? My goal weight would be 205, 210 of good lean mass. So with that, I would want to take in like 210 grams of protein per day, right? So ideally, I want to take that in with from actual eating, right? So that's like chicken and turkey and that sort of thing. But with how much calories I have to take in per day, what I will do is supplement with some sort of whey protein. So again, like if for vegan stuff out there, there's stuff out there for guys who are vegans and that sort of thing. There's also different YouTube channels. I'm just kidding. But there is different stuff out there for that. But general Optimum Nutrition whey protein is my go-to. I've tried a bunch of flavors and I'm 99% of the time disappointed with them. So right here, I just have the double rich chocolate. I'm not one of those people who are like, oh, my protein has to taste good, but some of the stuff is just disgusting. It has a nasty aftertaste. The last one I did was, what was it? It was oatmeal raisin cookies. Like, that sounds amazing. I love oatmeal raisin cookies. It was disgusting. It had like this chemical aftertaste. So I highly recommend just sticking with either like chocolate or vanilla, and that's it. I usually just down them pretty quick. All right, so to get back into the nutrients though, there's a few apps out there that are gonna help you break down how to track your macros, all right? So the big thing you need to do first is either talk to a nutritionist and figure out what your goals are. What they'll probably have you do, because I have paid for a nutritionist before when I was doing really well, and it worked out really well for me. So just like taking a shooting class and taking training like I've recommended to you guys in the past, having a nutritionist sit down and kind of what they'll most likely have you do is start tracking the meals you currently eat. So they'll have you track for a week or two as to, hey, what are you currently eating, right? Because whatever you're currently eating is getting you the results you currently have, right? And then based on that, they will give you a plan to either, depending on your goals, either increase them or decrease them depending on what you're looking to do. But in order to do that, you need to learn how to track. So basically that's where you're gonna pull out the smartphone in your pocket. You're going to go through there and you're going to download a few apps. So the one that I used forever, I have not used it in a while. I unfortunately have not tracked my meals in a while, is the Fitness Pal. So I believe it's by Under Armour. I'm just going to pull it up here. And what that allows you to do is type in what you eat and then how much of it. So that's why you're going to need a scale to know exactly how much to type in here. And when you do that, yeah, so it's My Fitness Pal, and let's see here, there's a bunch of advertisements. But so right here is just kind of what the main screen looks like. All right, and you can go ahead and download it in the App Store if you want. It's free to use, right? So it used to be free to use and had more features. Now it's free to use, but there's a bunch of paywalls on there. Depending on how into this you're going to be, I would say it's probably worth paying for the little package here, because what it does, and it used to be free, but now obviously they charge for it. Everything you buy in the store, right, is going to have nutritional facts on the back, and that's going to have all your macronutrients. So you look on the back of whatever it is. Let's say it's a jar of peanut butter. It's going to tell you how much protein, carbs, and fats are in that peanut butter, and then it's going to tell you the serving, right? So I wish I brought one down here, but let's say it's 5 grams for 20 grams of protein, right? That'd be awesome. Let's say it was that. All right, you're going to weigh out 5 grams utilizing your scale. And then you're going to sit there, look up peanut butter on the app, and then type in how much of it you did, how much of it you used, right? And you're going to have to sit there and calculate all your meals. What's nice about the pay feature, which again used to be free, is that there's a little scanner app on there. So you literally hit the scanner, it'll activate your phone, and you take a picture of the barcode. As soon as you take a picture of that, it uploads what the nutritional facts are of, let's say, this tub of peanut butter, and it will let you know. And then you pick how many grams you had. So let's say you weigh the peanut butter. You make a sandwich. You're like, okay, the peanut butter weighs this much. You calculate how much of it you use, and it will automatically calculate all your macronutrients in there, your carbs, fats, proteins. So it definitely streamlines setting up your meal prepping and being able to track quickly. Now, I would highly recommend that. It doesn't have to be the MyFitnessPal. That's only the one I have experience with. I don't make any money off of any of that. But it allows you to track your stuff. There might be ones out there that are a little more simpler and they might be free. So again, check those out. But just understand that if you want to get into this and you want to kind of, have success with it, you're going to have to track your calories. All right. And it's actually not that hard. With a simple scale like this, some of these containers, and then I would highly recommend like a little measuring cup. You can basically track all of your meals. You can look up the meals on the MyFitnessPal. It'll tell you what it is, like one slice of bread is this much. Okay, great. I only need to calculate that out once, and then I eat the same thing for those, let's say those 5 days, right? Maybe the weekends you don't track, just don't eat like a slob. But you calculate out your meals, so I know, hey, this meal is this. I write it down. This meal is, let's say, 200 carbs, 15 grams of fat, and 20 grams of protein, right? Let's say it's a bunch of rice and some chicken. You put that, maybe some dressing on it, right? So you put that on there, and now I know what this is, and I know whenever I make this, I do the same thing. And what you'll find is that over that consistency is where you're going to have success in either shedding weight or gaining weight. All right. And then lastly, like I talked about here, is going to be supplementing that. If I I only take 2 supplements. I'm not a big supplement guy. Again, I'm not the biggest, strongest dude, athletic dude, anything like that. But the two basically supplements I take is going to be whey protein, 100% whey protein right here. I always go with Optimum Nutrition. I just, I don't know if it's the cheapest or whatnot, but I always have liked the taste. It's always treated me well. And then any form of creatine, right? So this is 500 grams of unflavored creatine. I mix 1 scoop of that in with my whey protein. But again, talk to your doctors and whatnot prior to taking any of the supplements. See what's right for you, because everyone's going to be different. That being said, whenever you're on creatine, and just in general with fitness, another thing that I'm terrible at is hydration, right? So with hydration, if you talk to any of my buddies, you know that I'm constantly dehydrated. I never drink enough water. But if you're starting to get into fitness, whether you're trying to lose weight or gain weight, I highly recommend making sure you're hydrated. You can go ahead and keep some of the largemouth Nalgene water bottles, right? You can get some of those, fill it up. They've got markers on there for 16, 24 ounce, whatever, so you know how much you're drinking. And that's going to set you up for success. It's also going to set you up for having to go to the bathroom all the time. So if you're working in a UC or plainclothes assignment or anything like that, where you can't just pull over and stop in somewhere to take a piss, sometimes you're going to have to use bottles and that sort of thing. But I highly recommend staying hydrated, especially if you're going to take any creatine. But if you've ever drank out of the largemouth Nalgene bottles without spilling it all over yourself while driving, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. But that's basically it. Overall, guys, I know it's the start of the new year. A lot of people are getting into fitness. There's a bunch of free programs out there, guys. I highly recommend you check them out. I'm just going to log on here real quick. There's Orion Concepts. He's got some that he's paired up with people. Police Post, their second brand there is the ETC Combatives and ETC Fitness. I highly recommend checking those out. They've got a bunch of programs. Really, all the information's on there, right? If you log online, all the information's on there to get fit and get in shape. Really, it's up to you guys. It's staying the course and trusting the process, right? Getting up if you have time, whether you have to get up early or stay up late, and make the time for it. You'll have the energy after you work out. You'll feel accomplished. You'll feel good. Here's what I want you to do. All right. So if you're starting a new fitness routine, I want you to tag me every morning or every night when you go to the gym. All right, I want a picture just like I used to do in my chat. I'm gonna get back into it. We're gonna hold each other accountable. I want you to start tagging me in all the pictures of you outside the gym or walking in the gym. All right, let's keep each other accountable. We're all here together. Let's build this community of getting in shape for 2024. Until next time, take care.